It'd be great if this was a 6.5 foot truck bed. At some point sitting here, I realized that if I take the cardboard and I orient it so that the ribs go this way, I can create that curve that I'm using in the roof. I want that fluted shape. Those two, we're gonna work on those two sections. So if you're wondering why I'm using cardboard and not just buy insulation like a normal person, I actually did do that. I bought insulation, I put it all in there, and then it off-gassed when the canopy heated up in the sun. OCD brain, do your thing. That line is somewhat consistent. But right now I am building this shape, and I'm just using as big of pieces of cardboard as I can, and then I will cut, I think, another big one here, and maybe cut some relief cuts in here, and then tape it together. I need that curve in the front, so now this piece has an angle to it, and I think once I push it up into place, it will conform. You can see it hugs the shape of it pretty well. I'm gonna do that same thing for here, and I'll probably trace these as a piece for the other side. That angle. So that's the shape that I'm going with. This one fits well. This is just an offcut that I kept going on, and then this shape I should be able to do. I'll tape it all together, make sure it fits, and make one for that side. I've got a little bolt in here to give me airflow, but not let the rain in. That's better. That's a pretty good fit. So I'm gonna wrap that one, and then you won't see the tape, and hopefully it'll just be a nice cozy little area in here. That's the goal for the whole thing. That's what I'm doing today in the rain. There aren't a lot of leaks coming in, if any. I mean, there's some where I had the windows open, which is expected. But I'm real happy with this canopy. I've said that before. I've had a couple different canopies, and this one is awesome, and I can't wait to keep building it out. I'm gonna move down to California for a few months to work this summer, and I can already tell that once I get this like baseline good to go, I'm really gonna enjoy just improving it on the weekends, and then figuring out little projects while I'm out, you know, camping. I can already foresee that happening because I enjoy tinkering. I've done a lot of work like this before on other campers, and I used to work on motorcycles. It's just something about it that's just, it's interesting, and it's really exciting to see your work after you've completed it, and things usually never go the way you expect them to. That's kind of part of the fun, getting to improvise on the fly. And if you're thinking about doing a similar type of build, I would say go for it. I keep catching myself hesitating and just thinking and second guessing myself, and that's not the way. You just have to jump in and start. That little bit of light makes me happy. OCD be gone. As they say. All right, tracing this last piece out, and then I'm gonna cut it and tape it and put it right there. So here's how it held up overnight. One of these fell out. I can stick some Velcro onto that, push it up in there, and it'll hold. I still have to figure out the ceiling, obviously. Well, this just fell off, so I guess I should have known that wasn't gonna hold it because that's barely grabbing. Bought these Velcro tabs, and now this one keeps falling down, so I stuck a couple to it, and we'll see if this holds. The good thing about this material is I think it's basically like the fluffy side of Velcro. So if I put the grippy side on the back of some of these, it should hold, and that's already holding really well. So I'm gonna do that on this one too. I found something that I think might be an interesting solution for covering these cardboard panels with. This is self-adhesive backed cork that I got. There's a roll of it. I bought 2 rolls of it. I'm thinking I can stick this to each of these panels, and it'll look cool, hopefully, and it will provide more thermal barrier. But the thing that made me want to try this was it says cork naturally resists mold and mildew, and there's some cushioning, obviously, so it should dampen the sound too, and it should dampen the heat absorption. So I'm gonna open one of these up, pull down one of these, cut it to fit and push it back up and then show you what it looks like. If this works, I will be stoked. Okay, there's my piece. It looks good. It has a spongy feel to it, which feels good. Wow, I like it. All right, that one's in. We got two. Here. Seems to be okay. Gonna have to go camping in. Focus. All right, so I used almost all of the roll. I have a couple scraps left with it, which I think I can use to redo this one because this one pisses me off. So I got 4 there, well, 4 there, big there, big there. So I got, I don't know, 1/3 of the way done because I have to do these 3 on each side, which are big, and then all that. So maybe 1/4 of the way done. I think it's gonna work great. It looks great. It's soft to the touch. Cork helps with mold and mildew, which is, you know, there's gonna be moisture in here from me breathing. So I'm gonna redo this one, probably take a break and have a late lunch and then get back to work. It's cooling down a little bit. I had to redo this one because, yeah, redo. I had to, thank you, past Sam. I had to redo this one because I just know that if it looked all wonky, some of these do not look perfect. I'm getting better at it as I go. That's why I wanted to start with the easy ones, because these corner things are gonna be more work. That's all right. But this one, I just knew if it was all wonky and bad looking, I would have just been sitting there someday looking at it and wishing I would have redone it. There's kind of a trick to it where you push it in and then it grabs. But the tolerance still has to be there. Yeah, that's good. I ideally just don't want any gray showing through. It's good. So it's the next day after putting this stuff on, and it's held up pretty good so far. No smells, no delaminations. I'm really happy with it. I'm gonna keep going. For those 2 panels right there, I have concerns that maybe because they're at an angle, maybe the cork won't stay, but I'm gonna have to just address that as it happens. I might have to put some crossbars or something to hold that in place. But I'm looking forward to doing the rest of this. It's a beautiful day. I'm gonna get to work. All right, I've made a lot of progress. This whole wall is done. That's done, these are done, and same on this side. I need to tackle these inserts on the top, these corners, and then these fronts. Right, here's my first curved piece. I made sure that when I made these that the lines in the cardboard would bend so that I could do this. And I'm gonna put this one in, show you how it looks. That's about as fitting as I would expect, that I hoped, and it all looks consistent. And that wasn't too difficult actually. I just gotta do that 5 more times. These 2 are done, doing that one. Then I'll do these 3, and then I'll focus on this front part. I'm just tucking this in under here to hold it, and I'm peeling and pressing and peeling and pressing. And because this cardboard's already been bent, it already has a little bit of memory, and then I can just kind of bend it back, and it's working. So yeah, fingers crossed this doesn't delaminate or do anything weird, but it's working. So it looks pretty good. You can kind of see a crease in there, but pretty good. All right, so all things considered, that's not looking too bad. It's sagging a little here, but I can always run a piece of wooden trim, you know, as a physical sort of barrier to hold that up. I'm just gonna have to kind of roll with it and see, but I'm gonna go buy some more cork. Sorry, there isn't very much light in here. As long as it all just looks the same, I'll be happy, you know? It's been a long day working on this last panel. I can almost start on the ceiling. I'm gonna do something different for that. This is the last panel. I just did a test fit. I'm gonna put Velcro on the back, shove it up in there, take some final shots, and clean up a little bit and call that a day. I'm happy with this so far. I've driven around with it a little bit. It doesn't smell. None of the pieces have fallen out. Yeah, I think it'll brighten it up in here too. If anybody wants to do something like this, it was pretty simple. It was more of a time commitment than anything else, and it turned out pretty good. I'm happy. It's clean. See, it's got texture. Most of the pieces line up well. Then all I gotta do is worry about the ceiling, get a table, shelf, cubby, paint and stain some things, and I should be good to go. We'll call that good, even though it looks like garbage.